you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. I've got a good friend, David Clements, from New Mexico State University, former law professor, one of the leading lights of exposing the election fraud that took place in 2020, one who's gone around the country and called for audits. And now he's got a fun new way that you can reconnect what you know you saw and what you know you heard with the reality of what happened. The media has not been telling us the truth. So he's got a creative way to make this a fun exercise, a way that you can bring your friends in, you can tell the truth, you can have fun about it, and we can expose what really happened in 2020. Welcome, David.
Hi, Kevin. Good to be with you.
Good to have you in the Economic War Room. You've got a game. I mean, all of the work, all of the hard effort that you put in, all of the challenge, the media attacks, the cyber attacks, everything else, and you've been able to boil down to a fun exercise, a good way to learn what happened in 2020.
I think that's where we're at now. There was a Patriot friend of mine that I won't reveal who he is, was on a duck hunt, and he had a perfect idea to create a board game. And one of the problems with Patriots and trying to teach people what exactly happened, because there's so much misinformation, is it's depressing. People want to look at their phones, and so we said, why not put it into a game and see if we can make this a little bit more accessible to folks that aren't in the weeds.
Well, what I love about it is you bring out truth through humor, just like Babylon Bee. I mean, people see the Babylon Bee, and you know, got to say it, let's go Brandon, right?
Yeah, it's a tightrope walk. I mean, let's be honest, the election's depressing. The COVID pandemic stuff is depressing. The critical race theory is divisive. I mean, Let's Go Brandon's a perfect example. Let's show people how confident we are in what we know occurred this past year. And this game is a perfect time capsule of 2020 that, you know, you can take a look down, I guess, what is it, memory lane, and have some fun in the process and learn something.
You know what's powerful about this? I've been studying the Mandela effect. And you know, a lot of people, the media has been able to place in our minds, well, this is what really happened. And so you think that Darth Vader said, Luke, this is your father. He didn't. He said, no, this is your father. And I didn't believe it. I had to go back and watch the clip and watch it and watch it. And oh, wow, I'd remembered it wrong. What I love about this game is that it brings the actual clips in so you can see what the truth is, not what the media has told you the truth is, but what it actually is.
Yeah, well, let me just, full disclosure. I didn't create the game, and the reason why I'm here is I believe in it. I've had lots of people say, hey, would you promote this product? Will you promote this product? I'm not a salesman, but I am an unemployed traveling audit salesman. And this helps me sell full forensic audits in every state. And when I played the game, I just happened to have a really good time. And so, amen to everything that you just said. But for me, it's a matter of, we need to wake up people. And this seems like the perfect Trojan horse to get into living rooms that we've had a hard time getting to, because right now we're dealing with platform suppression. The fact is we can't have a discussion. So to your point about these QR code technology that pulls up videos and people can look at clips for themselves, we provide it for you. You don't have to go out and search for it. It's all here in the board game. So in an age where Twitter takes you down, YouTube deplatforms you, people are demonetized, the value in this game is amazing because you can actually look at the clips yourself.
Yeah, and it uses humor. They're funny. I mean, I looked at it a little before you got out here, and I was playing with it. I got to admit, I want this game. I mean, I want this game from my family. I can play it with my family. I want this game from my conservative friends who are going to love it and find it humorous. I want this game for my liberal friends. Like you said, a Trojan horse. I can put it into their home. This is probably 20 games for the Freeman family that we're going to be sending out for Christmas presents, birthday presents, anniversary, wedding gifts. This is really a moment in cultural history. I mean, this isn't getting Billy beer, you know, which my in-laws had a can of it and exploded, you know, in the house. This is a moment in history that's never going to be forgotten. I want this on my shelf just to keep. Election 2020, you decide, just to remember what happened. I mean, we all have a shared cultural experience, and this game is a way to actually continue, remember it, and share it.
Amen.
I love it. You read around the box. It's really, really funny.
Well, not only that, so you'll notice here on the box, this is what makes this game, I think, really unique, is the use of QR codes. Most gameplay is static. You're just dealing with the game board itself, and that's it. Here, we've got unlimited opportunities. So as long as you have a smartphone or an iPad device, and you've got this box, even if you aren't sure whether you want to buy it or not, you can just come over here and get the QR code, and then it's going to pull up a mix that describes all kinds of stuff about the game. And then some folks might be confused at whether or not that quote around the box, is that real? Is that real? Well, we'll just go ahead and play a clip here.
Let's take a look at Joe Biden's perspective on the election.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
There are only two things. One, he's telling the truth, and that's frightening. Or two, he's that incompetent, and that's frightening. And I'm afraid a lot of people are going to think both of those are true.
Well, it is. But what's great about this game, again, is if you want to gift this to a liberal friend and they just don't believe that that was said, show them the video. And so there's all kinds of media files that are dropped into these mixes where you can have instructions on real-life gameplay, get some discussion here about the After Dark version of the game where you can go to Epstein Island.
I do not want to go to Epstein
Neither
Island.
do I, but that's an option. And so it's interactive, and so you can get information even before you open the box, but once you get into it, you've got scorecards, for instance. Look at the scorecard here. It looks like a ballot.
It does, and look at that. Fill in the oval for only one ticket. And the only oval that's on there is that is a 2020 official ballot, isn't it?
Yeah, so it tells here as far as the voting instructions, completely fill in the oval marked for Joseph R. Biden and Kamala D. Harris. And to make sure that the instructions are clear, they only give you one circle that you can fill out. So the game is loaded with stuff that, you know, it's certainly not fun. It's not a fun topic, but we're making it as fun as we can.
It's extremely fun how you've made it. This is, I believe, the game of the year. Actually voted game of the year, maybe even the decade. Unnamed sources.
Yeah. Well,
how perfect is that?
Breaking news with Tuckle Carson. Hey everybody, we've got a big announcement from Kelly. What do you got, Kelly?
Tuckle, some clever patriots have developed an interactive game that pokes fun at the 2020 election.
That sounds good. You mean the most secure election in history, right?
Yes. According to our star virologist, you don't have to wear a mask to play it.
Visit the electionfund.com website to purchase. That's electionfund.com. Enter promo code 2020 for special savings, and you'll be getting the game of the year. Hello to our friends at Economic War Room. This is Tuckle Carson. Lots of exciting stuff here. We want to tell you about this new fun game. This thing is like a breakout of humor and good-natured enjoyment that has to do with the election in 2020.
That's right, Tuckle. Sometimes humor is the best way to separate truth from fiction. Sounds like the Economic War Room team has a lot of insight on this.
We're talking with David Clements, one of the foremost experts on election fraud, former law professor, brilliant guy, good friend, and he's showing us the game of the decade. This thing is incredible. So David, tell us how this game works.
All right, so you've got the outside game and the inside game.
Just like politics.
Just like politics, right? And you've got your two game pieces. You've got the red team and the blue team, and you start off at the escalator. and announce your bid.
The escalator, just like 45 coming down.
Yeah, and basically you're trying to get and collect electoral votes, right? Once you get to 232 or 233, you have to do the math. Once you acquire those enough votes, you get to play in the inside game. And that's going to determine who actually.
And the goal is to get 270, just like in real life.
That's right. You want to get to 270. And there are certain funny rules, like, there's certain states that you can't win or buy. And I have to tell you that you can buy some of these states with your tokens.
Which states can you buy?
Well, there's some that you can, but there's some that you can't.
Okay.
Florida and Texas are safe for the red team. You can't win or buy those. It's just baked into the game.
Okay.
And then when it comes to California and New York, those belong to the blue team. You can't win or buy those. It's just baked into it. Get used to it. There's corruption here.
Yeah.
Right? So
the blue team can buy New York or California.
Yeah.
But the red team can't.
That's right.
And the red team can buy Florida and Texas, but the blue team can't.
That's correct.
Real life.
Yeah, just like real life. And so you have to be aware of certain obstacles and how to navigate the game. But effectively, it's like an old Trivia Pursuit type game where you roll the dice, you move your pieces. So let's see that a 6 comes up. I'm red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on the trigger card.
Oh, no, I've been triggered. Go
You've
ahead.
been triggered. Well, we've heard the term. So we'll pull a trigger card.
Okay.
And the card reads, on what planet is it possible for Hunter Biden to get paid $83,000 a month to sit on the Burisma board with no energy experience and sell preschool art for $500,000 to undisclosed buyers?
What planet?
Yeah.
Does it give choices, or do I just
No, this is just the card to trigger people.
Yeah,
And
I'm
so
triggered.
At some point, there's a QR code here, so you might be curious on what's going on. You're triggered. We pull up the camera on your phone, and I go over the QR code, and let's see what comes up. Looks like you've got a mix here that tells us, see the stories, find the truth about Hunter Biden. So you've got all kinds of stuff here. It's treasure chest. You got a video here. Let's go ahead and click on this one, see what comes up.
Welcome to Henderson Blooper 180. We're going to be looking today at Hunter's laptop. So, you're probably thinking to yourself, if I lost a laptop, I'd probably remember that. But not Hunter. Why do you think that is? Let's have a look.
Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but you
my
know
point is, I really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is.
You don't
the
know
truthful
yes
answer.
or no if the laptop
I don't have
was
any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So
whether or
could
not.
have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
Or it could be, as the man who turned over the computer said, that someone who looks very much like Hunter Biden dropped off the laptop to be fixed and never picked it up. Finally, NPR had reported the Biden laptop story was discredited by intelligence. Now, the taxpayer-funded network has issued a correction saying they were wrong.
Perfect example. Not only can you trigger someone with the card, and if you're gifting this to a liberal friend, you can start pulling up video and saying, you tell me what you think about Hunter's response when he was interviewed. And so now you get to red pill the population and see if they can get exposed to information in context that they might otherwise not be exposed to.
He didn't say body snatcher came down, took over his body, then dropped the laptop off. That's the one I was kind of expecting. But okay, no, it's unreal. I love this game. This is the thing that I want to give to my parents, that I want to give to my brothers and sisters, that I want to give to friends, conservative, liberal. Those that are into pop culture would love this. Those that love the election stuff would love this. Those that just want to have a good laugh, they're going to love this.
I agree. Yeah, and so you work your way around the board, and you've got different topics that will come up. So you've got the Russia hoax side. And so this is all things Durham. You've got a picture here of Durham, the turtle. We're still waiting on where Durham's at. You've got the China virus, dealing with all of the faux pas with Dr. Fauci, the COVID stuff, the mask literature. Then you go over to the Summer of Love when we dive into the Antifa riots in Portland and the burning of Kenosha, Wisconsin, you know, all this fun stuff to talk about. And then you got campaign follies. And as you traverse 2020, you collect those electoral tokens and you get to the inside game.
I can't wait to play this game. It's phenomenal. And the beauty of it is it's never going to grow old because there's always new content that's coming, right?
Yeah, that's the beauty of the QR code technology, is that we can update the mixes as the game evolves. And the way that I envision this is, think about a primary election in May or in November. While you're watching the results in your state, Secretary of State, there's some dead time. Have the game out, have some fun, go down memory lane, and if we, you know, see that this game grows the way that I expect it to, you know, it won't be just 2020 you decide. We might have another game for 2022, 2024. There's all kinds of things that I think are going to come out of it. But 2020 special. You know, that's the 2020 hindsight.
2020 is hindsight. Yes,
We've got to look back to have an idea of how to reclaim our elections, and I think this is the way.
What a great way to start the new year. Hey, what's the response been to this game so far?
Well, I took it up on stage with me in San Antonio, and I gave a quick speech and gave a plug to it. Afterwards, people come up to see me like, where's the game? Give it to me. I'll buy two.
I want it now.
I want it now. All right, well, Kevin, you have to understand that this first run's going to sell out in minutes. And so we have to deal with all of the logistics of the resident in chief, the supply chains. We still got ships and containers out there. So I think the folks out there that are watching this, help us out. Go to electionfund.com, order the game now.
You know, I'm excited. We're going to have to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to get into these cards because they're hilarious. You know, here's BLM buying luxury mansions, defund the police, wearing a MAGA hat and get assaulted, fake news. I mean, you walk through this board, and it is, I mean, it's like 100 Babylon Bee type things all in one. It is humorous, it's sarcastic, it is ironic, it is everything that you would want in a game. I love it. So we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to dive into this game and see what the cards say.
Visit the electionfund.com website to purchase. That's electionfund.com. Enter promo code 2020 for special savings, and you'll be getting the game of the year.
We've just been updated in the Election 2020 You Decide newsroom, and we can confirm that the game was indeed voted Game of the Year by an unnamed source.
This is a perfect game for any time. We're playing with David Clements, the game, Election 2020. It's unbelievable. This has everything in it. It's fun. It's got truth in it. It's got a chance to tweak your liberal friends and please your conservative friends. It's a family-friendly game. This is amazing. David, I'm just loving this game.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. You know, so we actually got a card that we tried out with the red team over here on the trigger card. So now we just went ahead and pretend that we rolled the dice.
And land on hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
Perfect for the donkey. All right.
Now there you'll have to draw a corruption card.
Okay.
And so right here you'll have a corruption card. We choose truth over facts. And that's a quote from President Biden on the outside of the card.
He really said that, didn't he?
Yeah, and so the question that you would get if you landed on that space, if you pulled the appropriate card, is this. When asked by CBS News if he regretted telling the American people not to wear a mask, Dr. Anthony Fauci replied, A, this is just the first of many lies I'm going to be caught in. B, I don't regret anything. We had a serious problem with the lack of masks for health providers. C, yes, it was wrong to lie. D, I've been working on my fastball. Now, folks that have been following him know that B is in fact the correct answer. But for folks that may not know, they can click once again on the card, get the QR code there, and it'll bring up a mix. And let's see what we've got here. You've got a video here, so let's just click on this one and see what comes up.
So, Fauci's handlers thought they'd have him throw a baseball pitch to try and look more credible. Let's see how that worked out for them.
From baseball 2020, we get a real good feel for tonight. And now one of the more well-known Washington National fans.
So, yeah, I mean, no matter what you pull, you're going to get something that's, again, we're not big fans, at least in the Clements household, of Dr. Fauci, but at least we can have a laugh at his expense.
Well, you've got the Russia hoax, you've got the China virus, the Summer of Love, and campaign follies. I mean, this game gives you the opportunity to not only laugh at the problem, but to learn, and prepares you, because we're going to have other elections coming, and we have to address the very serious issues here.
I agree. Yeah, so keep working the outside game until eventually you get into the weeds of the inside game, and that's where things start to pick up. So you'll have your inside game cards, you'll have a different set of instructions, and you're basically just trying to battle to get to be the next president or resident in chief, depending on how you got there.
You know what I love about this is this game allows you to play a board game, which my family loves, but it also allows you to hang with your phone or your iPad or tablet or whatever, because people are looking at that all the time. This is like looking TikTok videos or Instagram, only all good. There's no cat things in here. This is all funny and all good, and yet it's all true.
Well, I mean, just by way of that card we just pulled, I mean, we just watched one clip. You have to understand that each of these mixes that come up, you've got at least 6 to 7 different files that you can pull out of there and watch. So, I mean, you could, in theory, play this just using the board. Get your points, get the outside game, inside game, but you could also just spend all night watching the videos together as a family. So this is something where, as a teacher, as a former teacher, you want people to learn, you want them to have fun, but you also want to have the community. And one of the biggest distractions for bad guests are for people to be distracted and pick up their phone. Well, now when they pick up their phone, there's a purpose for it. We can redirect their attention to learning.
I love the clips too. They're chosen, they're short, they're insightful, they're humorous, and I love the avatars that are used. I mean, everything about this game is cutting edge. I've never seen a game like this. In fact, owning this will be like owning, the first Monopoly or the first board game of any type. This is revolutionary for education, for fun, for entertainment. I love it.
And what really surprised me is that when I played it, I did a test run, I was just giggling. I'm not one of these people that giggles and laughs a lot. I was just, was happy. And so I think that what we want to do is, if we're going to have to deal with the depressing facts out there, let's have some fun. Let's put on our armor. Let's go out there and red pill some people.
Yeah, no, it's great. And the idea is that if we can get enough people commonly aware of the things that took place in 2020, I don't care. I mean, when you hear Chris Krebs say the most secure election in history, that is so bogus, and you've proven it with audits that you've supported and so forth. It's just simply not true.
It's not. So there's this cognitive dissonance between what the talking heads, and that's something we need to bring up here. You notice that every one of these videos you have just a talking head, right? And so we're used to people just telling us what to think, how to think, but reality, as we've seen it, just does not line up with statements from Chris Krebs or from Dr. Fauci. And the opportunity here with this game is to pull up real-time clips, things that we can remember, revisit history, and assess the credibility of Dr. Fauci, assess the credibility of Chris Krebs. And I think that's going to awaken many, many patriots out there.
Oh, and absolutely. I mean, we mentioned the Mandela effect earlier, that people don't remember exactly what happened. The media is trying to get people to forget that there ever was a Russia hoax, and yet all the documentation proves it. But you need something like this. Now, the clips that you've got, have you stored them in a secure way so people can always access them? We don't want this information to disappear.
Yeah, some stuff, like you'll find a Tucker monologue, 7 minutes in length, was up one night and you can't find it. Well, we found it, we've protected it, you'll have access to it. Other things we want to have flexibility to. So, if there's some cultural thing where someone sings the national anthem, it's just beautiful and it was on
right.
YouTube, let's just put it in there.
The game opens with a national anthem. I love it. It's patriotic. I love it. It's factual. I love the fact that you can play and you win. You have to win the inside game, which is just like real life politics. This is what families should be playing together. Over the holidays, for anniversaries, for birthdays, this is a perfect gift. It's something every family should have. It's one I want on my shelf because I'm going to point and say I was one of the first owners of this. I was one of the first people to get this brand new. I mean, the mixes, everything about this is revolutionary.
When I first was presented the idea of the game, I said I'd buy the game just to have the box, just to put it on my shelf as a conversation piece, because you've got things like here that, Hunter's laptop is not included in this board game. There's certain things that just stir a chuckle. But to my delight, when I opened it and started playing it, one, I actually helped consult and vet to make sure that the election stuff is right on, spot on.
Right.
We curated these clips very carefully to ensure that people have the real-time video of the Ruby Freemans of the world, people that are pulling out ballots from under a table. All that stuff's in here.
Where did we get this game?
Electionfun.com.
I love it. On the QR code that's even on the outside of the box, you can go to a mix that will show you all about how the game works, all about why you want to own this game. Last question. How do you win the game?
Well, you got to buy it to win.
Yeah, you got to get the game in order to win the game. No question about it. This game is maybe the cultural event of the year. I mean, just getting it, you've got to own it to win it. So get the game. I'm so excited about what this is doing for America. This is Kevin Freeman from the Economic War Room.